We're going to talk about 5 low cap coins that could do well. Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. If you're new, subscribe, bell button, leave a like, all that good stuff. Okay, let's talk about dominance first. Might be a good time to start looking at buying into altcoin. Potentially, maybe, who knows. Start to travel down. If we form a new low, as in we go below 39%, it's probably already happened. So this video is dedicated to some lower cap coins, basically under 30 million market caps, so not total micro caps. Some of them are really good, in my opinion. Some of them okay. Some of them I've missed off. If you're in my Patreon, you'll know what's coming. You've also seen the extras that I included in there as well, extra 3. So let's talk about it. I've picked out 5 coins that I feel that could do okay in the longer term. This is not financial advice, this is speculation. These have still got to kind of do a very, very big thing. They're all very, very different in ways, but at the same time, they're all very, very acute to the finance world, basically DeFi, right? The reason being, I think DeFi has yet to mature, and I think as much as the competition is there, I think in terms of spillover of money is probably going to be pretty apparent. So, first token, which is not DeFi related, is actually XCAT. Random, I know, but we're talking about the influencer market here. We're talking about the YouTube algorithm, the growth of video content creators, and this in a very, very simple kind of world allows you to monetize your data via a DeFi solution to, basically make people money, so you can do your own token. So reward and loyalty, monetization, viewer loyalty and stuff. What would you rather have? Loyalty to a person or loyalty to the adverts? Personally, I'd rather not have adverts on my channel, but at the same time, it's one of those things. It's like, what's the point of letting YouTube do it automatically, which does happen, by the way. So if you read the terms and conditions, you got like a channel page. There's a little advert space in between there, not in the videos, on the side. YouTube can use that and use that against you anyways and just go, well, you've got a brand, I can monetize it. Whereas this allows you to have I wouldn't say full control, but better control of able to reward loyalty to your viewer. So if this is like the likes of having Patreon, for example, the likes of using maybe the Brave browser in terms of the contributions in the BAT token, right? But this allows people to basically create their own tokens, hit milestones and mint their own stuff and incentivize watching, which is kind of a cool idea. And I do like the idea of it. Am I fully sold on the idea in its first attempt at doing it? I'm not sure yet. This is where a low caps are a low cap for a reason, because I haven't quite made it. And this is where it's speculative buying, it's investment, and it should be low risk, but also low risk followed by high reward. If they nail this, it could be a first for the whole entire ecosystem of online content creation, which is huge, massive. It's massive, but at the same time, it's unproven, which is always interesting. Powered by Zilliqa, which is good with the sharding effect, but we'll see how it goes. They have already onboarded some big brands anyways. NFT marketplace as well, so you can do NFTs on there. We'll see. As I say, it's a new area, it's brand new, it's squeaky clean, so it could be absolutely brilliant, but at the same time, sometimes we see revolutionary ideas like this that don't take off, and then a couple of years later, someone does the same thing and it does. So just be mindful of that thing. Moving on to the next one, related to a very, very big coin that's currently on an absolute whirlwind of a tour right now through the top end of market cap, Solana. This is the DEX for it, Solanax, which is kind of interesting. Sold, it's called. It is essentially a bridge for the DeFi revolution of basically the quickest blockchain out at the moment, which is Solana, and one of the best, biggest, fastest growing ecosystem, which I do cover in another video tonight. So you'll be able to see that later on after this video. So essentially what this does, it will allow everything to basically connect. As you can see here by that graph, you can see it go to Polkadot, the Binance Smart Chain, Ethereum, Polygon, Cardano, and obviously Solana. That's a big thing. And you can see already automated market maker, which, by the way, really, in my opinion, one of the best things about DeFi. So it's going to be interesting to see how this works with the enabling of the low cost and high transactions. This will be bullish, in my opinion, for the likes of Polkadot and the Binance Smart Chain. even the likes of Cardano and stuff like that, because it will enable things to move faster. And we want fast and you want cheaper, whereas Ethereum doesn't give you that, and it gives you a headache more than anything. So as a DEX, with its framework, it could be pretty good, and it would be good to see how this goes. But as I say, like anything, it is early adoption phase right now. It's tiny. I think it's like how big's the market cap on this? 6.5 million. So it's tiny. It's really, really small. So as you can see here, where the roadmap is, and I think the cross-chain integration is going to be key. Once that is fully live and once that is kind of working, then you've got the decentralized auction protocol and then the full launch of it. So I'm keeping an eye on this one. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to keep an eye on it. And this is one what I'm kind of looking at thinking, well, if this goes off like a rocket and Solana's still doing well and they then interoperability with the likes of Polkadot, they shove it on everything else and it does well, it could do very, very well. And as I say, it's 6.5 million market cap. So it's definitely one, in my opinion, to consider. If you're looking to buy this, by the way, I should have said that in the last one, go to markets, then you can see where it is. So it's not really on anything. So keep it close somewhere. Keep an eye on it, because I'm definitely keeping an eye on it, because I think that this could be a one that could do okay with the success of Solana. So we'll see. Next one, Bleus payment card. I really rate this one. I like it a lot. There've been some little upgrades recently due to the FCA with, you know, their stupid rulings at the moment. But if you've not yet heard of this, they actually are applying for banking license for 2022, which could be quite good. Enables you to basically use this as a normal bank card. It's pretty good. You get rewarded in a token. A lot of people don't like that, but personally I quite like it. But at the same time, if you're struggling to get some sort of account set up, you can get it pretty easy. There has been some teething problems over the last few months due to the fact of a mass supply demand of cards, right? They've had to change partnerships, and yeah, to get the cards out, it's been a nightmare. But if you're in Europe, you should be able to get them pretty quickly now, hopefully. But the 3% rewards in the cryptocurrency is pretty good. Even as a free member, up to £250 or 250 euros, whatever it may be, it's free. So you can get 3% back in the Pluton token. And by the way, the Pluton token is currently what? $4.87, and it's currently a market cap of 9 million. So if you're thinking, well, if I'm just spending here, there, and everywhere, little bits and bobs, and you're collecting a couple of Plutons, well, guess what's going to happen potentially? If that price does a 10x from here, it could be quite nice. It could be quite a nice little earner. But as I say, it's all over the place at the moment. It's going to get more and more available very, very soon. And once they are in Asia and stuff, it should probably do okay. The next one is FinWhatever this one is called, right? FXF. What a name, by the way. What a name. If I'm going to put any kind of award out to say that the most random name in crypto, this is probably it, in my opinion. I just can't say it. Anyways, moving on to the no-name coin. The no-name coin. This is actually took my interest quite... Yeah, you're going to see in a minute. This could be very interesting. Go away, customer service. At least you're there. Are you there? I don't know. Doesn't even want to move. Anyways, as an exchange, it needs to do certain things. And the way that this is the world's first liquidity or hybrid liquidity aggregator could be quite interesting, especially for exchanges. As a platform, you always know whatever platform you go into, it needs to be, well, let's be honest, simple. This is why I've moved platforms myself. You know, I don't like, you know, stupid things. And this could be a one where it could be interesting. Now, we've seen already in the past how certain coins, mentioning no names, Binance, Qcoin, OKX, you get the picture here, do well when, you know, people are busy, people are using them. And I find this one could be very, very interesting longer term. When you start thinking about the network that they're using, when you're thinking about how it will work with all these exchanges, and the more and more, you know, availability for providing the liquidity and what they're aiming to achieve for these exchanges, it probably will just be a matter of a network effect. A lot of people do rate this, and a lot of people mention this when I openly asked for some suggestions. And I just don't think this took off yet. And even if we're looking at the likes of Etherscan and how many holders it's got, that's once it's loads. For some reason, by the way, when I was doing my whole research, only 6,400 holders, so not many. When I was doing my research, by the way, the websites were everything was slow. I just don't know what's gone wrong. So when we start talking about growth and how the token will work as, you know, a utility, right? Cross-chain for all of them, a multiple or 3 times multiple rebate, staking, liquidity mining, farming opportunity. All these are really, really good. When you start considering the fact of exchanges and how they'll work, obviously the bridges and stuff like that, it could be interesting. It could be really interesting to see if the market does grow, will this just grow with it, with the fact of the staking rewards and the ability to use it in terms of the platform. So that could be very, very interesting moving forward. Next one, and the last one for this video, is Blockbank. 12 million market cap. Again, it's DeFi related. It's doing pretty well at the moment. It's currently down quite a lot on its all-time high as well, and it hasn't really got out the gate, I don't think, just yet. It's relatively new. It's not been out too long, and it hasn't got many holders, 5,100 holders, as you can see. Now, for me, it's interesting. Very interesting. Why? Because it's quite a decent amount under management already. We've already got 45,000 users, and the APY is pretty decent. As you know, DeFi, robot AI is pretty decent, and neobanking. Now, when we start to talk about this is where the competition is. Is this going to be a competitor to the likes of Celsius? Potentially, yes, in my opinion. But at the same time, we've got to look at it in terms of the facts here. Competition. It has to do very, very well. You can see all the backers, and already there's loads here. This is in a very, very competitive market, which could get swallowed up. If this is going to compete with the likes of Celsius, it could do very well. And when we talk about multiples here of this achieving the fact of where Celsius is, which is over $1 billion, it could be a huge gain. But this is where I think a lot of people like the low cap coins for that risk reward factor and for the fact of, well, maybe it'll make it. And it's always good to be a part of a journey when it's just starting off. In terms of this, in terms of the token as well, got to talk about it. The obvious utility, you can see here the amount of stuff that you can do in the utility: cashback, insurance, third-party rewards, staking rewards, reduced fees. They're all the kind of similar sort of buzzwords. And when you look at the tokenomics here, it's important to note the tokenomics because the distribution is not too bad on this. Realistically, you've got team and advice, not too bad. The reserves are pretty high. Rewards, BSC chain, referrals, private sale. So some of the coins you see all the time, which have got a totally different kind of element to this. Whereas when you start talking about the long-term effects of tokenomic model, when we start seeing massive amounts of like random stuff, like to teams and stuff, it's crazy. But you see here, there's got some big investing periods where they're locked up. So that's good. So at the same time, though, the fundamentals of this is to create rewards for people for locking up their, their equity, which is obvious in terms of its build. But at the same time, you see a lot of DeFi ones with massive amount of private sales, which is like usually about 60 to 70%. And then they can do all kinds. But as you can see here, you can't really do much with it. You can't really dump it, which is good. So I think I'm done. That video, very, very simple. The dominance chart, going back to it. Personally, I think we could be going for an altcoin run soonish. I wouldn't be too hopeful of it happening straight away. But if that carries on going down, we may well see some, a little bit of catching up. Ethereum, BTC might get a little bit closer. We'll see. But it depends on the NFT market as well, in my opinion. The NFT market could bring some little bit of action if it continues to go up or if it eventually tails off.